plagiarism is a very serious topic, so we made a PowerPoint just for you.
First and foremost, what is plagiarism? Simply put, plagiarism is the act of using someone else's words or ideas without properly citing or crediting the original author. In our present society, this issue is a very common one, not only among just students, but even among writers, politicians, and much more. So how can we identify plagiarism? First, plagiarism is usually accompanied with a lack of sources. So if there are no sources in the work, that means the person is probably plagiarizing. Also, check the consistency of the text. If it seems like read before, it's probably plagiarized. Next is search the exact words on the internet. If you stole it from the internet, you could search it on Google or Bing, and you will see where you stole it from. Now, here's the reasons for plagiarism. First is laziness. Next is a lack of time. And last is a lack of originality, or the copy-paste method. Here is an example of plagiarism. Jason Blair, a former journalist with the New York Times, was found that he was plagiarizing other articles from other newspapers. Now, here's how to cite your sources. First, use the MLA format, or author, last name then first name, then the title italicized, then the place of publishing, the publisher, the year of publishing, and the publication medium. Here's a video on how to cite sources.
In this video, I want to clarify a distinction that students sometimes forget to draw when they cite sources. It's the distinction between using someone else's words and using someone else's ideas. You need to cite both, but you cite them differently. Our first question is, are you using someone else's words? If the answer is yes, then you need to quote and cite the source. If the answer is no, you still have to ask whether you're using someone else's ideas. Sometimes students think that if you're not using a direct quotation, then you don't have to cite the source, but you do. Now, if the answer to this is no, then you don't have to cite anything. But if it's yes, then you cite the source. This might seem obvious, but I just want to reinforce the point that when you're citing sources, you have to pay attention both to the language you've borrowed and the ideas that you've borrowed. If you're borrowing language, you need to quote the language and cite the source. If you're just borrowing an idea, you won't be quoting anything, but you still need to cite the source of that idea.
That was a very good PowerPoint. I hope you learned something. Thanks for viewing our video. Now here's our sources.